Hare Krishna, this is Parijata from the GBC General Midterm Meetings in Italy on the day 2. Much of the discussion today was revolving around improving the efficiency and the effectiveness of the GBC, and an integral part of the discussion was succession planning and capacity building. I have with me here Gauranga, a member of the GBC, who is also co-leading the committee on capacity building and succession planning along with Chetan Avtari Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Could you a little bit share with us, the advantages of having this committee? First is, what is this committee?
Right.
Is this a resolution which is passed by the GBC, and a little more details as to where it stands now?
For the last 10 years, there has been discussion on how the GBCs who are aging need to identify their successors and move forward so that the organization can continue, and succession is an integral element of every organization. So the GBC is also taking it very seriously. So what we have done over the last few months is the GBC has passed a resolution that succession is a very important agenda, and Chaitanya Avtari Prabhu and myself are co-conveners of a committee where we have identified devotees from across 9 different RGBs or the national councils who are trying to actually support and facilitate this effort. So from each of those, from North America, South America, India, so we have 2 to 5 people from each place. Their role is to work closely with the existing GBC members, understand their needs, support their needs, and somehow or the other find a good person who could actually be identified as a successor over the next few months to a couple of years. And as the GBC members are in their 70s, they need to start this process, because even the process of nominations take at least 2 to 2.5 years to complete. To support that, we also are helping to improve the efficiency of functioning of the ISKCON temples, so that administratively the various processes in the ISKCON temples are not person specific and person centric, but it is more systems and process centric. So we are creating around 96 handbooks. 74 of those handbooks are centered around the active processes happening in the temple, and 22 handbooks are around build right from scratch. So if anybody wants to start a temple from scratch, so 22 handbooks would help them to actually start an entire operation from scratch, or you can call it a greenfield temple project. And 74 handbooks are centered around 3 categories. One is governance related processes, second is core processes, and third is supporting processes. So core processes would mean, like, related to temple, there are 11 activities we have identified. Related to restaurant, there are 11 different manuals. Related to Goshala, 11 manuals. Related to school. So like that, we have all of these in the core processes. Like that with respect to governance, finance, legal. So we have also co-opted professionals who are devotees and part of congregation across the world, including many accomplished ladies who are professionals but who have time to support this activity. So they are collaborating with us. We give them an update and brief on what we want, and then on Zoom we take down some of their descriptions, and then they work upon it. And once all of those inputs come in, then we work closely with the relevant ISKCON ministries and committees which are already working on this, get inputs from them, crystallize it further. Then we would have 2 levels of reviewing these documents. One, we would have members from different continents across who would form a part of a committee who would be reviewing them at first level. And then we also then would have some of the experienced GBC deputies who have experience of reviewing the GBC proposals for many years, and some of them are not so active, no longer on the deputies, but they have time and they have energy and they will give their feedbacks. And then once these 2 levels of review processes happen, then it comes in front of the GBC body for the final review. And once that is reviewed and passed, then they would be available for the ISKCON temples to use as part of their regular activities. So this would help new generation of people coming into the ISKCON temples. They may be congregation members who may be experienced in the other domains but not experienced in how an ISKCON temple typically functions. So these manuals would help them understand the building blocks of how the temple actually operates. And beyond ISKCON, there are more than 2 million temples in Bharat, and at least 100,000 very large temples who could also get benefit from these if many strong elements from these manuals could be utilized and translated in various vernacular languages, and that could also be of support. So these are two areas we are working on, and we hope and pray that we are able to actually support the GBC body with their succession plan effectively, because ultimately when Srila Prabhupada met Giriraj Maharaj way back in the 70s in Vrindavan, and he asked the question, how will this organization continue further? And he said, organization and intelligence. So a very important element of organization is how we actually recruit, train, retain, sustain, care for, and also support the next generation of leaders. So succession is part of it.
Thank you so much, Gauranga Prabhu, for sharing these very two vital aspects of capacity building and succession. One was the succession committee, and the second was the creation of the manuals. And as we heard that, for any institution to continue in succession is an integral part, and this committee is taking the vital step of continuing Srila Prabhupada's movement and supporting the GBC. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.